Yeah, that tiny position yesterday, I was down 120 pips on it, and now I'm only down like 10.
At least that 5-minute candle looks like a sly rejection candle.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be much better if we get a support form somewhere. That would be much better.
Safe.
Yeah, it's going to be a safer option. I'm also waiting on gold.
Looking for a break up on it.
Oh, I think it has done.
It has. Broken above.
Yeah, it's closed above that area. So let's take a look on the 15-minute. Closed above. Perfect. Okay, yes, if I can get a higher level of support over here, then as we start to surpass this resistance, it would make sense.
Yeah, I was like, go for it, man. Like, get some moves on gold.
Yeah, because we've got support formed over here many times, create that higher level of support. We have resistance, now creating a higher level of resistance. If we can create some form of support, high level of support, then we can continue that move bullish.
You keep
but I
your
want to
stops below
see
that support area.
Yeah, below the structural points. But we need like a good candle. Do you know what I mean? If it's a weaker candle, I won't take it, because then you can get shit like that, shit like this. So it needs to be a healthy bullish candle. Because basically when we see support forming on the 5-minute, that would be the what we're basically saying is that's going to be the bottom wick on the 30-minute. So then this wick fill becomes a target, and then continuation.
Yeah, makes sense.
What's my spreads on gold? Not bad actually.
What are the spreads on gold?
It depends, but roughly between like maybe 1-2 pips is a good spread on gold. But you can kind of get anything. You can kind of get anything around 3. But right now it's like. Right now it's a pip, which is pretty good. Like you would be pleased if you got a pip. I might even wait for it to create some support and then take it as we start to surpass this. Yeah, this bearish candle. But we'll see. Just gonna try and wait here. But I don't wanna miss it waiting for GJ. So I'll let you be in charge of GJ.
At least you can get up to there probably.
Yeah. Yeah, like
that's like
break
10.
even. Yeah, about 8. We may get a deeper pullback anyway, but it's just what I'm looking for is just that high level of support compared to over here, which will give me the indication that this is the bottom wick now on the 30-minute being created, and that we can continue moving up. So that's why I just gotta wait. Boom, 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 boom. Because it doesn't really matter that it's in the range. You expect him, because the 15-minute candle closed above, the 30-minute candle closed above, that wherever we create support is the bottom wick of the 30-minute, and then it should start to flip and then continue heading up basically. But there we go. I'd rather this kind of close bearish right now, because it wouldn't be a strong bullish close. Yeah, that's fine. So I've got to wait another 5 minutes anyway. Well, potentially, unless we start to break above here with volume.
I think it'd be nice if you can get like a bullish, so your 15-minute close is weak, and then 30-minute will start flipping.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to be very careful with impulses on the 5-minute though. That's the only thing. That's the only.
At least get that to close, that 5-minute to close bullish.
Yeah, see what I'm saying? Like, it will do that, and then it will just. That's why I can't do impulse moves on gold. It's not a good situation at all. That's not what I want to do either way. What's GJ doing? Oh, I think GJ is going to continue pushing up.
Yeah, I think the same.
Yeah, we'll see what it does. We'll see what it does. Yeah, we should, because based on the 4 hour, we should move up to the highs. We just obviously have this wick area, which is like reacting to now, but it should continue moving up. Right, I'll leave you to check that out.
Okay.
It's me waiting on gold.
That's sporting.
Yeah, I want a good candle.
Moves quick, doesn't it? It's like 1 minute it's bullish, 1 minute it's bearish.
That's what I mean. Yeah, you gotta tread carefully. Okay, first. Good afternoon to goodbye and TP done. Very nice. I was looking at GJ for the buys, but it just exploded. Yeah, me too. We were kind of like waiting, but I think once the 15-minute candle closed above, it just ran at that point. But the problem was we had a resistance on the 15 minutes, so it didn't really quite make sense to take it based on the 15-minute candle. Damn, man, you guys get some good spread. I get 18 spread on gold. It shouldn't be 18. I think you mean 1.8, which is about normal. If it says 18, then that means I think it should mean 1.8. Yeah, don't worry. If it says 180, that means 18 pips, right? But if it says 18, that means 1.8 pips. It's the same with pound yen. If it says 20, that's 2 pips. So don't worry, you've got normal spread. What time do you usually start the stream? Because every since daylight saving time, it seems later. I am on. Oh, so I start the stream still the same time for me at 7 AM GMT. But obviously, if that's for you, that would then suggest that you're having some. I think I don't know what happened with the US, but something about like day saving or light saving. I don't know, some shit like that. I have no idea. I literally have no idea. I need a nice solid candle here for me to want to take a buy, because this is just. You see, the thing is, structure-wise on the 5-minute, it makes sense for it to continue up. But if you look on the 15, if this 15-minute candle closes back in the range, it's gonna be very difficult. Obviously, the 30-minute candle is still open at this point, but the 15-minute really should be closing bullish. The 1 hour is creating a nice support though, above that area. Still only like a 19 pip. Oh, are we gonna get the thing is, even if we create a support now, the 15-minute candle is gonna close back in this range. So I may wait a little bit longer here, maybe for it to Good morning, good morning. Right, so I believe that's the 15-minute candle close at this point. Yeah, I'm not really liking this candle close on the 15-minute. Yeah, I don't think that's the best situation based on the 15-minute, because that's basically a fake out on the 15-minute time frame. So maybe we need to wait a little bit longer over here, because we could just come straight down at this point and start breaking this level. So you've got to put your higher time frame confluence with the smaller time frames. Otherwise, it doesn't really work. Because right now, if we start coming down, breaking this low, then you know the buys become very difficult. But what I'd maybe rather do is buy over here at 1737, 120 would be probably a better place to take a buy for price to continue moving bullish. See, look at that. Yeah, that's why you've got to use the higher time frame confluence as well. This wasn't enough. Although it was a good, it was structurally there. It wasn't. We didn't have the higher time frame confluence. So at this point, we may just come right back in the range. So now we've got to wait to see how this 30-minute candle probably closes at this point, and then I'll look to take a trade. So yeah, gold is off for the minute. Pound yen, seems like the 15-minute candle closed up over here. Let's look at the 30-minute. 30-minute candle still open. Hopefully we can get a pullback, some support formed, and then GJ will continue moving bullish. Okay, GU looks at the moment much better than GJ. A retest of 1.39 would be nicer. Would be a nice spot to get in for longs for a 30, 40 pip move. Okay, yeah, nice. I think I've stopped looking at GU, to be honest with you. But if that's what you're looking at, then go for it, man. I think it's pretty good. Yeah, we're gonna need a support formed at this point on GJ really, because otherwise it just becomes a little bit of a problem. Plus, this isn't the nicest of ranges. This is a very disgusting sort of range. So I'd rather wait for a pullback and then take it back up again. But I don't know at this point. We'll have to wait and see what happens. Let's take a look at gold. Yeah, gold's just come back in the range at this point. So pretty much this is just consolidation. So we may need to wait for the 1 hour candle to start breaking above its own high before we can start looking for buys at that point. HFX, opinion on GU for a retest of 1.39 to get in the longs. If you send me a chart, Ronaldo, I can take a look. Yeah, if you send me a chart, I will take a look for you. But yeah, it's pretty nice on gold because we closed above and into these rejection wicks. So this is probably why we're seeing these pullbacks, because if we look on the 4 hour time frame, it makes sense for us to continue pushing up to around 1740, which is the target here for today. If we can get it. We had a weak daily close, the daily candle's now moving up. I think we should fill this wick up at 1741, 1740. So that's what I'm kind of waiting for here on gold. But we need to wait for confirmation, right? Let's get those confirmations and then we can talk about a trade. Because right now we're just consolidating. That 151.860 area has some support to the left that we need to break for us to move up. Yeah, see, the thing with this area that I don't like is the crap consolidation that was here previously. That I don't like, but overall, I don't know at this point. I think it would be nicer if we could pull back, to be completely honest. That would be nicer than having to take a buy above here. Well, we don't have to do anything, but you know, for all we know, this could be a liquidity grab on the daily to head down, right? We don't know. But structure wise, it makes sense for us to basically continue pushing up. If we're just going to continue with the trend. Oh yeah. Alright, we've got around 10 minutes left for this 30-minute candle to close. gold is coming right back to support at this point. So even if you take buys off of the 1 hour, now you're panicking. You've got to wait for those smaller time frame confirmations. Okay, let's look at this chart over here. Oh fuck. Okay, so this is GU 30 minute. I think this is what Ronaldo's probably looking at. So you're looking at buys above hit. Yeah, that makes sense. It makes sense. I think you're probably going to get some issues right over here, right? You're going to get some issues over there. But what you're doing is you're making sure that potentially it's like just a minor rejection, and that you're not looking for candles to then continue back to your entry point. So potential just a little reaction on the smaller time frames, and then some form of continuation would be better. But yeah, I think that makes sense. I think you're right about that. It definitely looks in a better position than pound yen. But still, again, you don't know. It may need to come back, create some support. So I think overall, but yeah, I like the idea. It's probably got enough range, and so yeah, just be careful with that mid-range resistance. It's the only thing that you want to be a little bit careful about. So basically just ranging here on gold, right? We're basically just ranging at this point. The only good thing is that we've come back to this support again, and we should be respecting the support again, and we made a higher level of resistance over here. So if we do start to break above this resistance, then I am expecting continuation. So that's what we're gonna wait and see. 15 min creating that support. Is that pound yen? No, not yet. Not yet, it's not. But we may get like that support formed over here and then start to break above the highs, but we'll see. I'm a little bit more interested in gold buys above 1737.250. On gold, that's what I'm looking for on gold. And then we have this nice clean candle to the left hand side, so we could see price coming up to 1740 at that point. So we just kind of like measure this range, right? This is a 30 pip range. That would be a really nice amount of range to take buys. So that's what I'm looking at. Did anyone take buys before the stream? No, I didn't actually. So what I was waiting for was I kind of like overslept a little bit, so I got to the charts maybe around 6:30. So this candle was open, and then I was waiting for this candle to close, right? Because in pretty much we're down to like the last 5 minutes, and we were just like kind of floating at this resistance. So I was like, okay, well, if this candle closes above this into this rejection area, it would make sense to take a buy, put stop loss below the 1 hour candle, and then obviously we can see here in the last 5 minutes. In the last 5 minutes, we had the volume push up, which obviously, yeah, it's frustrating, but that's just how it goes, isn't it? When you wait for a candle to close, you're accepting that you may miss this move. Now you have to go and see how you could have potentially caught this. Well, I know that, okay, maybe I could have executed as we started to break this high over here, but then you're playing a game of, okay, well, you may get an entry over here, but if the candle closes, pulls back to this level, what you gonna do, right? So that's just the game you have to play, but there's no real right way of doing it. It's just personal preference. Looks like the 5 minute candle's created a support to retest this level. 30 minute candle still open. Gold is just ranging. I'm not really liking sells though, unless we get like a minor resistance formed. Ooh, looks like gold's breaking below at this point. Let's take a look on gold. Ooh, damn. Yeah, that's why you gotta be careful, man. No buys at this point. Gold is not moving well today. So I suppose the buys are out of the water. So we've got like a minute and a half left on GJ over here. It's kind of like just below that level at this point. I'd rather it stay below and then we can try and get a retracement is what I'm better looking at. Okay, GJ left side looks garbage. How do you deal when there is a bad range? I think with this range that we've got to the left hand side, you would basically just have to expect us to clean this move up with volume. If you start to see issues, you know, after a support is already created, then it's like, okay, maybe you can start to take something off that trade. But in terms of a level, we should just clean that range. Although it's a crappy ass range, I mean, yeah, we should do. Because on the 4-hour time frame, it's a clean candle, right? So what that means is the smaller time frame you go, the more mesh you're going to see. But then when you probably go to the 4-hour, you're going to see a clean candle mirror this candle. And then you're going to be like, oh, well, how could I have caught that move? And then you start looking down at your smaller time frame. So it's a little bit difficult, but that's kind of just how it is. You know, when you have a crap range like this, just got to look for a potential continuation, really. So we are creating like a minor resistance over here. 30-minute candles closing like a weak bullish candle. 1 hour candle still open, so I'll have to wait. Gold, so the gold 30-minute candle closed below this area. Let's take a look on the 15-minute candle also closed below that area. 5-minute candle also closed below that area. So yeah, I mean, for me, for gold to continue down, I want to see a further resistance formed below this level. If I can see a resistance formed, then it would make sense for gold to continue down, fill the wick. But I didn't really like gold sells, to be honest. I wasn't so keen on the gold sells because my bias for the higher time frames was bullish. Plus we come into some problems in this kind of area, which is where we like tapped into. Yeah, see, we tapped into this like kind of resistance area, but if we do head down, then we should tap into this zone over here. Kind of like, what price is this? It's like 1733, 400 area. Makes sense. One hour kind of still open at this point. Got this issue area to the left hand side. Yeah, we'll have to wait a little bit here on gold, see if we can get a pullback, some resistance formed, and then look for further continuation bearish at that point. Otherwise, it's not the best situation at this point. Yeah, didn't really like gold sells because the 4 hour time frame is definitely bullish. We've now done the retest. We now have actually done the retest. So do you want to take a sell when the 4 hour is signaling further upside? Because this was our most recent resistance and we've retested it at this point now. Daily's bullish as well, so do I want to be taking a sell while daily's bullish? And while we're still in this clear uptrend on gold? Probably not. Probably not really looking for the sells at this point because of this. Got a lot of issues to the left hand side. Gold may do what it did yesterday, where we closed below that range and then the next 30-minute candle closed back in the range, did a little retest and then continued moving up to retest the high. This is still a high, right? It's just a pullback. Right, what's happening on GJ? I'm leaving it up to you guys to let me know if anything's going down while I'm looking at other pairs. GJ's just there, man, just kind of like there. So yeah, just waiting for support to form and then we should have a nice easy trade, nice easy buy. Okay, right, let's look at, see what's going on. Morning Ash, it's hard for me to take as there are no top wick on the 15-minute candle and the range was only 7 pips. GJ, we spoke about that. Okay, let's check out Ronaldo's chart. Ronaldo. Okay, so just kind of like waiting over here with this gold. I mean, gold can continue down, but I think the sells are just way more difficult. It's going to be a lot tougher for gold to head down because you're going against trend, you're going against the daily. Okay, so this GU 15-minute, yeah, looks like it had some issues somewhere over here. It's pulling back. I think either you're trying to get in on the retest, or what you're trying to do is wait for a support to form. You're going to need to wait for maybe a bullish 15-minute candle and then look to take a buy, or as we start to surpass the highs, but that's up to you. But yeah, I like that idea. It makes sense. I think if you're going to have this resistance here, so I think either have this big box, or have this little one. Whatever's going to make it easier for you. There's no point having both, you know, because if this is a zone, then just look at this as a zone. You know, if you don't need this potential small little box there, but I think for a start it's good. But obviously, you know, criticism wise, positive criticism. Let's get some labels on this chart. Let's talk about why you're looking for further buys. Let's talk about the structure, right? Higher levels of support, higher levels of resistance. So think about that. Okay, 5-minute candle closed bearish on gold, but I'm not really interested in sells right now. I think it's going to be a little bit too risky to take a sell right now. GJ looks like it wants to potentially break up if we start breaking the highs on the 15-minute. We may miss GJ here today because I'm not really looking to execute based off of this. I'm not really liking that situation there. Although it may move up, that's not really what I'm interested in. Yeah, it's going to be too of a riskier entry. Okay, Morning H, just a quick question please. I feel like I focus more on previous zones rather than current. Any thoughts please? Okay, let's check out the chart. Okay, had my zone here, thus looked at range for buys. Was looking at this area as a zone as well, taking entry at the break of the 1 hour highs. Yeah, that could make sense. I think as well, you know, sometimes your zones are never going to be clear cut, right? See, this is off the 1 hour, so let's say you look to the 30-minute time frame. There probably was a zone like here, right? So then you want to see how the 30-minute candle closed. Yeah, because obviously remember the when you go down past the 1 hour, let's say down to the 30-minute, you're gonna have more information about like what happened here, what's going on over here. So you're gonna get more information to say like why this did what it did, and then you're gonna almost like get a clearer picture of the zone and whatnot. But yeah, I mean, you could have, yeah, if you took buys above here, that makes sense, because then you're looking for price to come into this area, and then if you see price like kind of like creating rejections here, then you know you can start looking at closing some positions. But effectively, yeah, it made sense. It made sense. Very similar structure to pound yen, to be honest. Oh, that is pound yen, sorry. I thought that was GU. And then pay attention there. Okay, yeah. So exactly. So when we look at this level, let's go to my chart real quick. You can see on the 30-minute time frame that we had a resistance over here. We had a previous support over here. So that's why I was looking to see. Okay, well, maybe we're going to create support. Maybe we're going to do this. So then you look on the 15-minute time frame, and then you'll see, okay, how we had this 15-minute candle closing bullish above that area. And actually, from what I can see right now, I think this was your buying candle to start the move, to be honest with you. Because if you think about it, structurally wise, we had a high made over here on the Asian session. So that's your Asian high, as some people like to say. And then if you think about it, if this is a lower resistance on the 15-minute, we were breaking that. We closed above that. So I think this would have been your anticipation of this move up looking back. Yeah, I think looking back, that would have been the area to execute the buy right over here. Even for myself as well, this is where I should have been in buys. Wasn't really looking at that too much because of the 30-minute. This was a rejection area, but actually this is a high still, and you can see how we closed above this resistance, and then this became a target. And then if we had some problems there, you can close the trade. But as long as your stop loss was kept above here, then you're fine, because you can see structurally wise, we had support formed, right? And it was higher than this level of support as well. So you had that confluence, and then you had the fact we were closing above a resistance, and then even could have got in here. So I think I was I think I was asleep on that candle, but still, that's where I would have liked to have entered in, looking back at it freshly. And now we are continuing to pump up over here. Morning Salim. Yeah, GJ's off now. Say goodbye. Gold. Yeah, gold. Not the best situation on gold. Yeah, I think looking back, I should have been in buys in this area, or as we started to break above the 1 hour highs at that point. Looking back from a structural perspective, it's so
Yeah,
much.
it was all lining up, wasn't it? The higher
Yeah,
time frames.
yeah. I think because if this was like Asian session here, which it was as well, it was already above that kind of level, creating a support, and then once we got that candle closing above here, it was like structurally made sense to at least push up to here. And then like what we were kind of looking for, it's like the move kind of like it's like began already and didn't even realize it. Could have took buys here as well. Then there was a number of options there, to be fair. So yeah, I suppose that's just it, isn't it? Okay, what do you think about a buy when it breaks the high of the 15-minute carrot bearish? Did you talk about, is that GJ or gold, or I think you're talking about GJ, right? I think we've missed that part now anyway. But we need to pull back first. Yeah. What's going on, Goja? How's it going? Thank you very much. I appreciate it. DLs in GU cells. Okay, let's see how that goes. Might just give us one hell of a strong candle to break that consolidation on the left. Yeah, maybe it's gonna do that. We'll see. It's like gold is trying to create a minor resistance over here. I'm just not liking sells at all. I'm not really liking selling into all of this. Yeah, it's frustrating because I'm not particularly keen on the sells at all. Because you have so many issue areas all in this vicinity here. It's all an issue zone. But it seems like it does want to push down. Five-minute candle close below that area. Yeah, it could easily continue moving bearish here, but I don't know. Yeah, I'm not really liking the sells. I'm probably going to stay out of these sells. It looks like pound yen's just going to continue pumping up over here. So I think we've missed the whole thing on GJ now at this point. That's okay. Miss moves all the time. But yeah, looking back, this was your first point of entry. I think we could have gotten again over here. Now this is when I was on the chart, so I missed this opportunity here. But that's because I was waiting for the 30-minute candle to close. But there you go. I suppose that's just how it goes. Well, you can always see how you could have done better, right? But yeah, it looks like we missed pound yen. Yeah, we should hit this 152.060 level at that point. Yeah, I'm not keen on these gold sells. So just waiting to see what happens over here with gold. GJ just pumping up. I think we can still get a trade on pound yen, but we're gonna need a pullback and a support forms at that point. For GJ to still head up. Did anyone catch those buys in the Asian session? That was a real nice move. Yeah, I'm not liking gold. I'm not liking gold. I think the only trade I would take is if we can get a close potentially back above this area and then a higher level of support formed, like similar to yesterday's situation, would be okay. Because then if we had resistance formed right over here and then we can create support back above this level here, then it would make sense to take a buy, and then we have this clean candle to the left hand side coming back up to resistance. That would make sense. Something similar to what happened yesterday, but apart from that, yeah, I'm not interested in taking sells right now on gold. Gonna wait to see how this 1 hour candle closes. when we enter based on the 1 hour 30 minutes, should we stick on that or should manage risk by seeing 15-minute when goes in drawdown? I think, I mean, that's up to you. But I would say probably best to stick with the time frame that you're on. So for example, let's say I took a buy over here. Let's say I took a buy, but then the first 15-minute candle closed bearish. I mean, some people are going to manage risk there, but me personally now, probably not. I'm not going to do anything at that point. If I get, let's say I took a buy here, right, and then I get the next candle on the 30-minute closing bearish, like this, after breaking the high, then I'm probably going to take something off the trade, right? Because then it makes the whole idea a lot more difficult. But 15-minute candle is a little bit like, because you can have a 15-minute candle do like this, like, you know, create a candle close like that, and then the next one go bullish pretty, you know, pretty easily at that point. It can just continue up. It can even break the low. You know, that's how the candles work. You know, whereas beforehand I'll be closing half, closing another portion. I just found I was constantly closing up portions when really, you know, in the London session it breaks lows, it does this type of thing a lot more. But what it does do that is important is it will respect levels. So that's what I'm kind of focusing on now, is it going to respect levels. So for example, let's say you took a buy on a close above here, right? Even if you got a bearish candle do this, some people like me beforehand, I would be closing portions, but really it still respected this area. So it, you know, even if the next one, I don't know, closed, I don't know, but yeah, because then the next one you still have room to then continue that move up at that point, basically. Boom, boom. You got stopped out on GU. Okay. Yeah, I think you should have been looking for buys on GU. Just based on the structure, similar to pound yen here. There was no sells, man. Be careful on 152 level. Yeah, it seems as though it's tapped into 152 at this point. Yeah, so for me, I'm waiting for a support to form. If I don't get a support to form, then I've missed the move. That's the way it goes, you know. Gold, we're gonna have to wait. I'm gonna wait to see how this 30-minute candle closes. If it closes below this area, then the 1 hour candle is closing below, the 30-minute candle is also closing below, with the next one respecting that area, and then the 15-minute candle will also be closing below. So let's say that we get a 15-minute candle closing bearish over here, then it would also be structure on the 5-minute to signify that we can continue further down. But I'm thinking we're going to close back in this range and then head straight back up to this level here, which would be nice. Because then what I can do is I can go break even somewhere over here potentially, or close some positions here and then try and leave a runner to run to my overall higher time frame target at that point. but we'll have to wait for this candle to close for me to see that. Jev said buy whenever GJ gives a pullback. Yeah, I agree with that one. Obviously that's going to be on like your 4 hour, your 1 hour, but still, you gotta know what you're doing with that type of thing. You gotta know what you're doing. For example, if you're looking at the 4 hour, you know, if you say a bought over here, you got screwed. So you want to wait for these like deeper liquidity pullbacks like over here, and then look for this type of structure, which was from yesterday, right? But still, you'd have to hold that trade overnight. But yeah, it definitely made sense. This is exactly what I was looking at for a clean 4 hour candle. I should have been way more on the ball with that. I think, Kelsey, looking back, when we was on the charts, obviously we were here, we could have taken it as it was breaking the high and then just, you know, expected it to close above. And if it didn't, then we just take maybe like something off that trade.
Yeah, just had our stops below the hour candle.
Yeah, exactly.
Candle,
yeah. I think looking back, that was probably the best option. Would have given us the best option at that point. Right, so as we can look on the 30-minute candle, it should be closing back in the range, which is good, which means the 1 hour candle is respecting this 1 hour support. So yeah, we can get a little pullback, create a higher support on the 5 minute, somewhere over here. I think that'll make good sense to take a buy on gold to continue up to this area. Yeah, I want to see a little bit of a pullback. We should see a little bit of a bottom wick on this next 30-minute candle, which would be nice. So yeah, that's why I stayed out of gold sells, everyone. Experience told me to stay out. Right, so we've only got 14 likes. Ooh. Ooh, 30-minute. What are you gonna do? 30-minute. That's why you gotta wait for candles to close over here. Ooh, see, that is a very, 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 very delicate situation, as Roger would like to say, because it's like literally at that level. If anything, it makes more sense to continue down because it's just slightly closed below. 30-minute candle slightly closed below. 15-minute candle also slightly, but then the 15-minute candle closed above this support. That's a very, yeah, this is a very difficult situation right now. It's interesting. For sells, we need a further resistance anyway, but for buys, if we can get a support form, then I think then we should be good to expect this 30-minute to come back up in the range. But I do want to be a little bit cautious here because this isn't the best situation that one can have. What's your name, brother? My name is Harrison, or you can call me HFX, whatever you want to call me. How did pound yen close? Pound yen closed bullish. There's still range to take buys, but I think maybe if we wait for a support to form over here, that may make sense. You see, at this point we've got the 30-minute candle closing above 151.850. So if we can maybe get like a support formed on the 15-minute time frame on GJ over here, it may make sense for price to continue moving bullish. New 1 hour candle as well. I mean, I don't particularly want to, but you can kind of enter in here because you have this range to fill, but your stop loss would need to be down over here at that point for this to make sense. But I think I'm going to be more disciplined and wait for a bullish candle to form in my direction on the 15-minute. But if you wanted to, this could be an area to like enter in, but you'd really have to expect, right, you hear this, you really have to expect, right, not only this area to be respected, but you will need to make sure that price does respects this kind of previous support zone as well. But if you want the safer option, wait for a bullish candle to form in your direction and then take your buy on the next one to go up. That's going to always be the safest option. It's going to save you from fake outs, it's going to save you from a lot of things. But in theory, as long as price stays above this area, see what may happen is the 30-minute may come below this area, wick below it, and then close above. Now that would be pretty good, because then we'll need to see some form of support forming. Gold is trying to create a minor resistance over here. Yeah, maybe gold wants to continue moving bearish. Ooh, yeah, I think it does. Damn. And if gold does move down, there's literally only like a 15 pip range at this point. But yeah, I think I've gone off gold for a sec. What's happening over there? I think I'm interested in potential GJ buys. Yeah, we need a support formed, because if this is going to retrace, then clearly we are reacting to this area over here. So a support formed on the smaller time frames would give you that confirmation to say, okay, we should start to fill the wick. But just kind of waiting here, because I've kind of accepted, right? I've accepted now that potentially I've missed the move. So unless I see something I like, I'm not gonna go, I missed the move, we could end up still, blah blah, let's take a buy. No, I'm gonna wait to see if I get confirmation for my buy idea, right? It's like gold did or is trying to continue moving bearish. Yeah, it makes sense, but I wasn't really keen on the sells. Wasn't really keen on the sells, to be honest with you. So I think I'll accept that one as a miss. Now we wait on GJ. So I think, like I was saying, we need this 30-minute candle to respect this area for it to continue moving bullish. So if it can respect it and you're seeing some form of support being formed here, then I think it may make sense to look for buys. But yeah, I did get your name. Is it Harrison? Yes. What's up, Mike? How's it going? Right, what do you think? Okay, let's take a look. Let's take a look at this chart. Okay, so this is Euro NZD 15-minute time frame. Okay, so you're looking for sells. Yeah, I think that makes sense. I think your stop loss is way too tight. Your stop loss is way too tight. That's what I think. I think your stop needs to be above here in order to be safe. But it makes sense. It makes sense. I think you're going to be targeting kind of this area first and then this area second, because you may run into some issues over here beforehand. But I'm going to take a look at EN as well for you. But yeah, like I say, your stop is going to need to be a bit bigger than that. There's a high chance that you can get stopped out on that one. Yeah, look, let's go on the 30-minute. Yeah, I think it may work. The only issue I have, actually, looking from a 30-minute perspective, is that we haven't closed below this support yet. So yeah, we haven't quite closed below this support yet. So I think if you're taking sells, you're gonna have to go with it. You're gonna have to go with it at this point if you're in this sell. So AKA, what I'm trying to say is, I mean, even there is an aggressive stop. Yeah, I think, like, to be completely honest, I wouldn't be taking sells right now, me personally. But if you're in them, and that's what you're anticipating, then I would say you're gonna need your stop loss in a much safer place, which is gonna be here as a minimum. I'd say this is a minimum, and this is gonna be probably the safest option in case you get a candle that does this, and then the 30-minute ends up closing bullish. So I think it's a very aggressive sell. If you was going to take a sell, you got to go and see how you could have caught this move down. But to be honest with you, yeah, man, it's not the best situation. Yeah, to be honest, sells would be better below this 4-hour support. But knowing EN, it definitely can head down, but I wouldn't be taking this type of entry myself personally. So just go with it, make sure your stop's in that good place, and then hopefully you can secure some profits down over here. Yeah, that's like 11-12 pips. Secure something there, and then let it run at that point. But really try and manage your trade at this point, man, because this is going to be, it's going to be a very difficult type of entry. Right, so bear that in mind. But yeah, I hope that works out. Okay, GJ, what's going on with pound yen? 15-minute candle's got like 4 minutes left. 5-minute candle did create a support, but that's not really what I'm interested in. Gold tapped into that area, now retracing. Yeah, I was just not liking gold sells, to be honest. Hi, first time watching the stream. Is it daily or what time does it start? Yeah, it's daily. So welcome. We're here every day, Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. GMT. So yeah, same time every day, Monday to Friday. But welcome to the stream. What time frame do you trade on? I trade mainly on the 30-minute or the 15-minute. Sometimes the 1 hour, and then on gold, like 5 or 15-minute. Ooh, looks like pound yen's flipped over here. Yeah, so potentially could have got in on that retest. But yeah, I was kind of waiting for a support to form because I missed this whole move up. Can't let the market entice you. But yeah, it makes sense to start continuing moving bullish over here. Might be a no trading day for me here today. Potentially. Very potentially. But we're only going to be on the stream for about another hour or so because got my car going into a service today. Ugh. So not the end of the world. Oh, looks like we are pulling back. So gold on the 15-minute time frame has created a resistance. Yeah, seems like very similar structure to what happened the other day. But this support is a dangerous area. Yeah, I think personally stay away from gold at the moment. We're having a lot of issues with downside on gold because look at the higher time frames, right? You can see the liquidity that's been made to push price up. So does it make sense to look for short-term sells? No. We've got this liquidity area, we've got this liquidity area, and think about the wicks that were rejecting up are getting filled at this point, right? And we see like this candle had a lot of liquidity in it, this candle done the same thing. You know, these bearish 4-hour candles. So maybe we're going to see something over here the same, and then the next 4-hour candle continuing this push up. So maybe you're going to have to wait for MY session to smash gold. So yeah, probably come back to MY to see if we can get smash a bit of gold later on. Yeah, GJ, I'm gonna need to wait for at least like a solid support formed here for me to want to take a buy. And then with gold, I mean, if we start to break above the 30-minute high, we can definitely start heading back up at that point. But I want to see some form of structure again on the 5-minute time frame, because if this was a resistance, then I want to see a higher level of support. But yeah, this is why I did not like the sells, man. I think this was a liquidity grab now. We're going to start heading back up to this area. So I'm going to be looking for buys back above here, or potential pullback, higher support created, and then look to retest that level. Right. Okay, I'm gonna quickly go make a drink. I'll be back in like 3 minutes. So bear with me, guys. I'll be back in around a couple minutes time. Right, sorry about that, guys. Right, let's see what's going on with gold. Oh, gold is in a sticky situation right now. Yeah, gonna need to wait for this 30-minute candle to close over here. This is very disgusting on gold. So I think probably the best thing is to wait for me for buys above 1737 250 later on. GJ 30-minute candle looks like it's retracing, pulling back at this point. So I think it's gonna be better to wait for some form of support to form on the 30 minutes or the 15-minute time frame. But I'm probably not going to be on the stream much longer, guys. I'm not going to lie. I've got, yeah, I was meant to have my car service booked in next week. It was supposed to be next Wednesday, but ended up being pretty much that I got some light come up on it yesterday to say the engine's basically, there's a problem with the engine, so I've had to call it in earlier or whatever. So yeah, gonna have to take it in this morning. So yeah, just kind of waiting here with pound yen. Also kind of waiting with gold as well. See how this 30-minute candle closes. Just the sells are just not liking it. I mean, you can already see what's going on with this rejection and also rejecting this support area. It just doesn't really make sense to buy or sell right now. The only thing that makes sense is structurally wise on the 5-minute time frame is indicating further downside, but at the same time, is that, you know, is that going to be the case? I don't know, because we are respecting this area as a resistance. So if you think about it, any form of support above here on the smaller time frames though is going to mean a good opportunity to buy back up again. But then again, you know, even if you're saying, okay, well, this is resistance, we're respecting this multiple times, well, you could argue that we're respecting here multiple times as well, which is why I'm not convinced we're heading down. So gold is in a bit of a bad situation. You know, something like this could keep you out of a gold sell, you know, like over here, which is where I know some people would have liked to have got in. Right, let's see how this 30-minute candle closes. I think if I get a solid 30-minute candle closing bullish over here, that would be great. But I bet you any money I'm going to miss it on my way to driving my car. I was wondering how HFX came about. It means Harrison FX. Am I correct? Yes, you are correct. I came up with the name just because I was like, you know, what's going to be something like short, snappy, easy to say. So I was like, you know, I had like Harrison's trading group. I was like, it's a bit long, you know. And then so where I live, everyone I know, or if anyone who's like pals of me, they call me H, right, just for short. So I thought, okay, well, what about HFX? And then as I said it, it just flowed so well. I was like, HFX. I was like, that makes sense. But then after I made the name, made the Instagram account, I then soon realized, because I never knew nothing about it, that HFX actually stands for high frequency trading or something, like high frequency whatever. It's like an options trading. And ever since then, I've been bombarded with those idiots. Trying to say, oh yeah, HFX trade, HFX. I'm just like, man, listen, I don't do that. No. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, looks like we've created a resistance over here on the 30-minute time frame. So I think I may want to wait for a solid candle to form over here. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens. Gold, how did gold close? So gold, 30-minute time frame has created a resistance, but I mean, look at the situation we got over here. This is disgusting. No. Not liking it. Not liking sells. I'm not liking buys right now. Yeah, I'm not liking anything. This 1 hour, all it has to do is basically, if it's, let's say this 30-minute candle closes back in the range, then the 1 hour candle basically creates support again, and this is a liquidity grab, right? So, you know, what'd you do? You gotta wait. You gotta wait. You gotta wait. I have a feeling that we're coming back in this range. I mean, look how the 15-minute candle closed. See, this is why. Okay, so this is what happens, right? Let me explain something. A very, very important concept, right? A very, very important concept. Okay, now let me explain my process in how I got better as a trader. So let's just say, for example, I was like, okay, here's my range. Okay, now when I first started out, I would say, okay, I'm looking for a break below, break above. We've got the break below, I would sell. Okay, let's just say stage 1 of my trading, I would sell. What happens here? We didn't get to the target, we pulled back, we create resistance. Okay, so I'd see this resistance being created a lot more, and I'd be like, okay, I keep missing it, I keep losing because I didn't wait for resistance because it's counter trend, right? So now I'm going up to stage 2. I'm waiting for that resistance. Okay, now I'm like, okay, I'm waiting for the 30-minute candle to create a resistance for me, and then I can anticipate gold to continue down. So you get the resistance, now you're waiting for resistance, you're like, perfect, I waited for that, now I'm gonna sell, and it doesn't work out. And now you're like, oh, but I waited for resistance, you know, that was the higher time frame confirmation, blah blah blah. Okay, now as I was getting better as a trader, what I would do is I would be like, okay, why didn't this work? Even though I got the higher confirmation, why did it not work out? So now I'm like, okay, let's go, let's dive in here. Why did it maybe not work out? I know it may work out on this particular occasion, but I'm just talking hypothetically. Now you go to the 15-minute. Let's say you've never looked at the 15-minute because you're one of these that say, okay, I want the higher time frame confirmation. I am one of those as well. However, what you need to be aware of is what is going on in every situation. 4 hour, what's going on the 1 hour, what's going on in the 30-minute, what's even going on in the 15-minute. Now as we come to the 15-minute, would you sell after this would you sell after this candle? Would you? No, that is not the candle. So now after looking on the 15-minute, this candle here would keep me out of that trade, because I would say, okay, unless we start maybe breaking this low, I'm not going to sell it, because look how weak it closed. It came up, it broke above the highs, you know, and now it closed weak. Not really making sense right now, is it? You know, we have a low over here, we never closed below here, we got a minus support. So now you're starting to understand more about what's going on. You know, you're reading between the lines, and the more you do that, the better you're gonna, the better you're gonna get. Right now, you go to the 5-minute. What's going on the 5-minute? Oh, we're just consolidating. Would I want to sell in consolidation? No, not yet. What's probably going to be my safest option? Well, I'd say your safest option would be to maybe start to see this break. Actually, maybe see one 5-minute candle closing below, because not one of these 5-minute candles can do that. And then someone's going to say, oh, well, but, you know, now we could have gotten over on the retest. We could have done this, we could have done that. What's going to be the more consistent approach? Getting in on the retest and getting caught with a big fat off fake out, like what it did here? Or understanding what's happening in the market and then saying, okay, well, it doesn't make sense to sell it yet. Let's wait till I see candles start dropping below this level, and then I can sell it. Yeah, my range is going to be less, but my probability of winning is going to be higher. All right, understand. And the more you do that, that's how you're going to get better. It's a really, really, really important concept, because it all started with, you know, me waiting for a 1 hour candle to close bullish, right, to take a buy. Then I realized, oh, but the next one stopped me out. Well, why is that? Let's look on the 30. Oh, we never really closed above on the 30-minute. Okay, now I need to look at the 30-minute as well, because it's going to give me more information. So don't just base your trade just off the 1 hour. And then it's like, okay, well, what else happened? Why didn't it else work out? Look on the 15-minute. Oh, we created a resistance here. We created a resistance. We never broke the highs. Okay, let's look on the 5-minute. Oh, we had a weaker support. We had a weaker support. It wasn't a good enough support. Okay, got keep trying to zoom in and keep looking, keep trying to dig for that information. So pound yen, if we do get a support form because we've come below this level and then close above, that may be a good opportunity, but just still kind of waiting over here. Yeah, it's a shame I may miss this situation, but I'll see. Come on guys, let's get these likes up, man. We've got 20 likes. I've got to remind you guys like every day. Get the likes up, get the likes up. But yeah, no, I appreciate all those people. See, I appreciate anyone that just comes on the stream and just likes it. That's a real G right there. It's a real G. But yeah. Now, the likes are good, yeah, because they allow other people to see what we're doing. So the more you like the stream, the more word across we get. I don't, you know, if I had 50 people more come to the stream, I'm earning like an extra 20 pence. So honestly, it's no difference to my pocket. But what difference does it make? It makes a difference to the community. It makes a difference to maybe other people that are trading, you know, very bad styles, and they're losing a lot of money, and they come across this channel, and then finally they start to see a bit of light. They see a bit of, oh, you know, I can make this work. There's people come on here, they make this work, you know. So it helps to spread that. And for any other YouTuber, you know, not just about me, like any other live streamer, you know, go support what they do. If they provide value to anyone, right, then go support what they do. You know, even if you don't like that person's style, if they bring actual value, and I'm not talking about, you know, your signal providers or your people who don't know what they're talking about. I'm talking about if someone can go ahead, show you evidence, show you how they approach the market, come on consistently and give you value like I try to do here every day. You know, I'm not like a perfect, there's no such thing as a perfect trader. I'm not perfect. I make mistakes all the time, right? But what can I do? I can come on here, I can give people solid advice. You know, we wait for good options. If I miss a move, I miss a move. But what does that teach you? You know, if I can miss a move, so can you. You don't need to feel emotion towards it. So even little things like that is providing value to the people watching. You know, if you got a guy that tells you, oh yeah, I'm getting in this trade, I'm getting that trade, and he's got about 5 or 6 different trades within a session, that's actually not providing you any value whatsoever. But the guy that can say to you, yeah, this makes sense, however, I'm waiting for this, and he waits for that, that's actually providing you indirect value, because subconsciously you're seeing, okay, well, he said what he's going to wait for, and he's waiting for it, right? He's planned. So if he's planning, that means I got a plan to be successful. So it's like implementing the foundations. You know? But yeah. It's really, really important concept. Oh shit. Okay, gold is, I think it's a little bit disgusting right now. I think structurally, like from the 30-minute, yeah, it does make sense to continue down. Like higher time frames now makes more sense, you know, because you have a resistance formed. That is like a higher confirmation. That's what I would look for, counter trend. So if you think the trend is bullish, then yeah, this is a good confirmation to say, okay, that, you know, we should continue down at this point and fill this wick. However, if you want to be the best possible trader that you can be, go look on the smaller time frames and tell me we're gonna head down. You know, look at the wicks, look at this area. It just doesn't make sense until you start to see a structure, you know. But yeah, maybe it will start to come down at this point. But look at this, like just look at the way it moves. Like it's just, we just keep tapping into this area here. We've had some issues multiple times here. So yeah, I think if you were gonna sell it, I think is anyone seeing this right now? Oh my god, gold is just scary at times. But yeah, it does seem like maybe we will push down at this point potentially. But yeah, yeah, just the sells, you know, look at all this liquidity that's being generated up over here. We had the same thing over here. I'm not willing to play about with this shit, you know what I mean? I want to wait for just easy options. This is not an easy option. Plus, you know, look at the range we have. We have support about 10 pips away. And then even if we break that, okay, yeah, then we've got like a 20 pip range. But hell, we're going to get some issues on the way down. Okay, pound yen 15-minute candle, maybe closing bullish over here. Let's look on the 5-minute. I don't think this is enough to take a buy yet at this point, because even as structure goes on the 5-minute time frame, unless I see a higher level of support, this is the beauty, right? It's the same kind of concept, because if you think about it, right, on the smaller time frames, we have resistance, we have support, we now have a lower level of support. Yeah, we're pushing up, but unless we break through here, it makes no sense, because then we can, you know, respect this level and then start to come back down again. Plus, if we look at this 15-minute candle, it's not the strongest of candles right now, so probably gonna wait to see how the 30-minute candle closes. Reason being, because if we wait for the 30-minute candle, we're gonna save ourselves in case this candle, the next candle, just comes straight down and starts coming down to this deeper level. Yeah, for me, this isn't enough to buy at this point. This, like, yeah, we do have support formed on the 15-minute time frame. It makes sense for the 15-minute candle to retest this area, but it's 6 pips away. And then yeah, I'm probably gonna have to wait for the 30-minute candle to close over here. You have a resistance right over here, because then if I see the 30-minute candle closing bullish like this, then it makes sense to take a buy for the next one to head up and fill this wick and then continue on. But what time does the 4-hour close? It's in like 15 minutes, right?
Yeah, 15.
Yeah, that's the other thing as well.
Yeah, don't really want to get in too late in that. I mean, sometimes it does push, but we've already made a high. Yeah. So yeah, it's not like it's pushing up the 4-hour.
Yeah, see, my problem is like the structure wise. Until we break through here, we can't say we're coming up. Like if we come back and then create a further support, higher level of support somewhere, then I'd be like, okay, yeah, maybe that makes sense now. But yeah, I think if I miss the move, like I've already missed all of this. So am I gonna get upset by this? No, not at all. Look at gold. Oh, see, look at this, man. Gold is just, yeah, exactly what I was talking about, man. Like, just look at this, just rangeness being created. Like, yeah, you may find it goes down in the end, but you sat through all of that. That's not what I would want to sit through. Plus, I'd probably want to wait for this 1 hour count to close, to be honest. Okay. Hi mate, thanks for hi mate, thanks for the knowledge you are spreading. Just a question. The thing about gold trying to push through the resistance. When I say volume push this down, would it be right? Yes, you could be right. Yeah. So basically, whenever we say, you know, volume, we're talking about that like like you're expecting volume to break certain areas. So for example, you know, let's say, okay, the 5 minutes consolidating, right? Let's say this 5 minute is consolidating, but let's say you was in a sell. Let's say you was in a sell and you was in a sell based on the 30-minute candle close over here. So you can see on the 5 minute, this is that support being formed here, right? So basically, when we talk about volume, what we're saying is that since we've got the confirmation on the 30-minute that we've got a resistance formed, you're now expecting volume to break through this zone here. Okay, if you don't see that, then basically you're gonna have to manage your trade. That's what we talk about with volume. So it'd be like for saying, let's say candles are moving bullish, and they come to a resistance. Let's just say this is a resistance. We would argue, okay, well, if we start to break the highs, you're expecting volume to continue us up. It's that simple concept. It's the fact that, okay, yeah, we've got higher time frame confirmation here, but on the 5 minute, we're still rejecting this support. So what would we say? Okay, for your idea to be valid, you would need to expect this amount of support to break with volume. But I don't want to have to expect anything. I just want to, for me, if I'm going to take a gold trade, I want a nice easy trade that I can quite easily rub my hands together. I'm not going to want to try and play the expectations, because we might be expecting gold to continue down with volume, but my expectations of the higher time frames were for gold to continue moving bullish. So if my higher time frame bias was bullish, even if I've got confirmation for lower time frame sells, I'm still going to try and stick to my overall bias, because like, yeah, you know, it may work in the short term, but then you may find later on you're going to get your higher time frame bias confirmation, right? But like I say, you know, we're still just rejecting and breaking highs, and that's not an area where I want to be entering in a trade, because we're rejecting over here and we're rejecting right over here. So probably, you know, let's say we close back in the range on the 30 minute, right? Then we'd be breaking above this resistance, which would then tell me, okay, if we're breaking above this resistance, I'm probably going to have a safe buy, right? Because we're out of that range. And, you know, and it's kind of similar, even though the 30-minute candle is maybe giving you expectations to break through this zone, what's going to be safer? Probably to wait till we start to see a candle closing below that zone, at least one 5-minute candle, right? Because then you can have a much tighter stop loss, maybe let's say above that consolidation, and then, you know, as the price starts to go into profits, you can start moving stops to break even, or whatever you want to do at that point. But yeah, I think we'll see. I think based on that 30 close, it does kind of make sense that we'll push through this zone. But I mean, look at how we've been moving. Have we even gone anywhere? So just bear that in mind. GJ, yeah, this is why I wanted to wait a little bit over here. See, understanding structure is going to give you so much more confidence. Exactly what I spoke about here. Again, that 15-minute candle was not enough, because we have resistance. We have a lower resistance on the 5. We're now creating a lower resistance here on the 5. If we start to surpass here, that 15-minute support now is invalid, which means you need to wait. So what's the best thing to do? See how we react here. If we create support here again and we start to push up, that will be the 30-minute closing bullish, right? That's going to give you a better confirmation, and then we'd be breaking above this resistance levels, and then we should start to push through these zones. Because I mean, how many times is that gonna? That's probably gonna save you. You know, some people are gonna be like, oh, I'm waiting for support. If you wait for support right over here, you just got stopped. What do you want to see? So now go to your smaller time frames and understand structure. Understand what it is you're looking for confirmation as well on the smaller time frames. This may keep you out of a losing trade. So we'll have to see what this 30-minute candle does. To be honest. And if I was going to take a buy on a 30-minute candle closing bullish, my stop would be probably below the previous 1 hour candle over here, to allow it a little bit of room to potentially, because look at this disgusting zone that we're buying into. You know, we already see how we've had issues here. So understand that one. Okay. Please remove background music. No, I don't want to remove the background music because then I don't have to talk like every 5 seconds.
You have to come join us if you want to have no music on.
Yeah, exactly. Gotta join the Zoom.
Nice and peaceful.
Yeah. Yeah. Nice and peaceful.
Can you still hear it?
Well, yeah, I can hear it. It's in my headphones.
Yeah,
I hear it all the time. But it doesn't really bother me. I just find it nicer because like when I didn't have any music on the stream, I'd just be sitting there like twiddling my thumbs like awkward silence. Do you know what I mean? Like when there's no music, it's just and it's not very loud at all, so it's not really a big disturbance.
I've got on the YouTube, you can barely hear it.
There you go. So it just makes it nicer. I don't have to talk like every couple of like seconds, because that just gets annoying. Because there are times I just want to like just sit here. Okay, perfect. So think about this now for a sec, guys. Right? Let's say this 30-minute candle closes bullish in 5 minutes time. What would that mean for our smaller time frames? What would that mean? That would mean we're gonna be creating a higher level of support somewhere. What did we do previously? We made lower levels of support, lower levels of resistance. So what would that suggest? We'll make a higher level of resistance, lower level of support, and head up. Understand the change in structure. But you gotta wait for those confirms. Bom, 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 bom. But if this 30-minute closes, let's say like it is, that's not a good enough confirmation. Not at all. Waiting over here for the 30-minute candle to close. Gold is still just there, man. 3 minutes left for this 30-minute candle to close. 3 minutes left for the 1 hour candle to also close. Man, this must... Oh, we're coming down over here. We're not creating a support. So, I mean, if we're not creating a support over here, that means we're going to need to wait for a support around 151.660 at that point. Or even maybe like 151.740. Oh, god damn, GJ. Yep, that's why you got to wait, people. That's why you've got to wait. Breaking that 1 hour low. Do you know what? I did the best thing not getting in on that retest and waiting for support. Yeah, as well, we're coming into this daily zone. Yeah, see, that's the other thing as well, why I wanted to wait for a strong support. Because look on the daily where we're at. This is a rejection area. This is a rejection area. So if I was going to take a buy, what would you want to see to take a buy in a rejection area? You want to see a support. You want to see a solid support to tell me that this is no longer a rejection area. But yeah, obviously we could have caught that initial push up. That was the best option, like without a doubt. You know, I realized where I could have taken the best option, but now at this point we must wait for a support. But even though it looks like okay, now support, we're going to come back up, I think looking at it now, pretty tough situation to be in.
Yeah, I mean, if we can create support at 650, I think could be good. But
yeah, the only issue then is why are we correcting? You know, we're coming into that daily zone as well. We need another volume session to take us further up, because that's quite a big, that's basically correcting the whole thing. And usually when we correct to move, I find that we're not going to re-correct to go back up. So I don't know. We'll have to see how that one plays out. Right. H, what is your input in the GBP news coming out tomorrow? GBP news coming out tomorrow. Are you talking about the interest rates? Okay, let's take a look. So what news have we got today? Today we've got CAD news, we got FOMC later on, and then tomorrow is the bank rate. Tomorrow is the interest rates. So my input on that is that it's going to stay the same. It's like a 95, pretty much 100% chance it's going to stay the same. So if that stays the same, I think that's going to be good for the pound. Going to be good for the pound. The reason why it's going to be good for the pound is because when interest rate stays the same, that means the economy isn't weakening any further. Obviously, really, it's not good. Like, in truth, it's not good. But you don't want to think about it like that. You want to think about how does the market interpret it. Go back and look how the market interprets interest rates staying the same. They treat it as a good thing, right? But we know, or anyone who understands economics, really that's not a good thing, because if the interest rates are still kept low, that means our economy actually isn't recovering really at all. Because if your economy is recovering, you would then start to slowly increase your interest rates again. But I would presume, because they're looking at probably borrowing more money, that's why they want to keep them low for as long as possible. But you see now, the only good thing about this pullback, the only thing I like about this pullback is because now we have created a resistance over here, right? So we now almost like kind of like cleaned the path. But to be honest with you, I'm not quite sure why we're doing this right now, because there's quite a big rejection. Even though the 4-hour candle closed above, which is important, very, very important. So for this 4-hour candle to get filled, we need a support to form above that level. If you used to take buys now based on the 4-hour closing above, I mean, you'd have like a 15 pip stop. But it definitely looks like a little bit of a rejection over there. So I would be very careful at this point. Yeah, at this point you're going to need to be very careful. Probably wait for a support. Let's check there was no news on that pullback though, because that came in fairly quick. Oh, see, gotta check your news. Is Brexit the end? I don't know, this might just be nothing actually, but still. It was 9 minutes ago, and then suddenly we get this, we just get this correction out of nowhere. Look at that 1 5-minute candle. Just.
I'm looking for like a 30-minute that can like kind of wick down to like here and then end up closing bullish.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at too, to take a buy. Yeah, because we've got nice clean candles now coming up. The only thing that I find is a problem at this point is why have we corrected the whole thing? But then the only good thing about this is the 4-hour candle has closed above, which is important, right?
Yeah, 4-hour wick fill here, could be good.
Yeah.
Just gotta wait. Yeah, to be fair, that last 4-hour actually tapped into 152. Just like kind of rejected from there.
Yeah. Okay, so obviously, right, let's presume, let's just say for example, we don't know whether now we're going to start heading back up or not, right? How would we look for sells? So for me, for sells from a structural point of view, I wouldn't be looking for sells until we were maybe, I mean, if we create a resistance below 151.650, that would make sense. But I'd say probably the best sells you're going to get is going to be below 151.350. From a structural perspective, that's going to be make the most sense to take a sell. Well, what happened with gold? Oh, it's just still like there, man. See, even if you was in gold sells right now, I mean, look at the 5-minute. It hasn't even broken out yet. But right, so soon guys, I'm going to be jumping off in a little while. But you would see, the thing is, I think if you wanted to, I mean obviously it would have been on the 4-hour close. You could have executed with your stop below the previous 4-hour candle, but obviously always the safest option with those type of situations is going to be for like a 30-minute candle to close in your direction at that point. But I think this does pave a way that if we do break above 151.910, there's also that opportunity now to continue up to 152.060, and then it gives us range. So pullbacks aren't always a bad thing. But in terms of structure, this is where you would want a solid support. Because if we look at the structure right now, right, let's do pink line again. So we had support. We had support, and now if we can create support here again, because why is that important? Well, look, we had resistance. So look what happened yesterday, right? So this is a resistance level up over here, yeah, right up in my top left hand corner. This was resistance level. We came down, created a lower resistance, came down, created a lower resistance, came down, created a lower resistance. What do I talk about on the 5-minute? Structure. All the time, all the time I talk about structure. So where would have been the confirmation for structure to take buys? Right over here, that second higher level support. What happened from there? We created the new structural move. So again here, higher level support, resistance. So once we broke above here, this was that Asian session move. I was so close, man, to setting a buy stop above here and then a target here. But then I thought, like, obviously I'm going to bed early, so I was like, probably not the best thing. I need to be on the chart just in case I can manage it, really. I don't want to just set a trade overnight, really. But that is kind of like what I would wanted to have done. That was what I'm looking at, because structure wise, if we break this resistance, then we're coming up to here. So we came to this level, create a higher level resistance, pull back, create support, create a higher level of resistance over here now, and now pull back. And now if we can get a support formed here, from a structural point of view, it's just simple market structure, right? But then understand, what if we don't create support here? What happens if we push down? We will be breaking structure, this short-term bullish structure. So now what do we want to do? We want to wait for a pullback and that lower resistance to form than, let's say, over here. If we get lower resistance to form, even if it's here, over there, doesn't matter. Higher probability now of price continuing down. I think the first thing you need to identify whenever you're coming on the chart is not just your most recent support resistance, but zoom out, right? Actually zoom out and go and take a look at your structure. Because, okay, if you just took a look at pure structure, right? Tell me where you'd buy. You'd buy here, you'd buy there, you'd buy there, and we would say you'd buy there. Just structural. Did every time if you bought here, let's just say, bought here, tried to buy here, or tried to buy here, how many times are going to come back to that area? Okay, so you bought here, came back to here. Bought here, came back up to there. Bought there, came back up to there. Buy here, should come back up to there. Alright? Don't overcomplicate it. You know, and even the Muppets that want to go, ooh, trend line. Okay, there's your trend line. So stick with it. You know, that's it. Like, it's very, very simple. Obviously, I don't like the trend line, but what am I focused on? Not the, oh yeah, well, we tapped into this trend line now, so we should start to push up. No. No. What am I focusing on? I'm focusing on the structure. If we create support here, above a previous resistance, man, there's a very, very high probability we're going to come up and retest this level. Okay? But yeah. See, if I didn't have that extra 15 minutes in bed, should have caught that initial push. But we can't think like that. But just know that if I was looking for buys, 100% it would have been somewhere over here in that vicinity there, for price to continue moving bullish. Wow, that's just how it goes. Right, let's look at gold. It's gone nowhere. It's just going nowhere. So anyone who took gold sells, I mean, you've been sitting in this for like an hour, and it's been drawdown, back up to profit, to drawdown. Not an ideal situation, is it? If you look at the 4-hour candle closure, it's the same sort of thing on gold, right? Alright, take a zoom out. What do we see? Or just from this perspective here, what do we see? We see support, we see support, we see support. And now what do we see here? We should see a support. And then this just becomes a what? A high. When we made a high here, did it get retested? Yes. When we made a high here, did it get retested? Yes. When we make a high here, will it get retested? It should do. Ranging for FOMC. Very well could do. Very well could do. But I think structurally wise, we're kind of like grinding up. That's what it's like, a grinding up situation. Because even here, like there's a lot of mess, right? A lot of mess, but we're still like slowly trying to make our way up. For our 30-minute. Kelsey, we might even get one of those fake out situations. That'd be nice.
Yeah, true. That'll be very nice.
Yeah, if I see that, I'm just getting in that.
I'm in.
So yeah. Okay, we've got like 50 seconds left for this 15-minute candle to close. But I would be waiting for the 30-minute candle to close. Gold just still there, man. Still there. Yeah, I'm pretty glad I've stayed out of gold today. I think the only way I'd want to sell it is if this 5-minute candle is breaking down. See? So if you were looking for sells on gold, right, now would be probably the best time. If it's going to work out, of course. No guarantees, but still. And you had the 15-minute candle close below that minus support there as well. But I don't like this range anyway, like that's why I don't like it. But I mean, now would be the best confirmation that you could probably get. Do you know what I'm saying? Or wait till it starts breaking the low would be probably the safest option. But yeah, at least you had one 5-minute candle that's actually broken out of this consolidation. So I think maybe the best option would be to wait for it to break the low over here, and then for gold to continue moving down. So not really an amazing range. Yeah, so if this 5-minute candle, I'm going to stay out of these gold sells because I don't really like the range and stuff. There's not really enough range. There's like 14 pips down to support. But we've got a lot of issues on the way down. But I think if this 5-minute candle breaks the low of this 5-minute candle, we can see gold continuing down. Fill this wick. And then could push down further, but yeah, I'm not personally liking this. I think for gold, I'm gonna wait for buys later on if I can get it. Pound yen, 15-minute candle closed at support. Okay, not bad. Okay. Alright then, guys. I think we're gonna call it a day here now. I've got to shoot off. Haven't got the time to stream anymore. So, I mean, if this 5-minute candle never breaks the low, then I suppose it's just gonna come back in the range, and basically this just becomes a you know, a deeper support potentially now at this point. Looks as though yeah, disgusting. Yeah, I would just stay away from gold, to be honest, at this point. Unless okay, the only trade I would take on gold is above here or above there. I think if you're looking for sells, it's probably gonna be better below here, because then structurally wise, you know, you can see corrections. But as it stands right now, it's just disgusting. Okay, guys. Yeah, I think I'm gonna call it a day over here. Then we're gonna finish up. Looks like pound yen is not maybe gonna create some support over here. Damn, we'll have to see. I think good sells, yeah, probably below like 151.480 is gonna be good. It's like a 12-14 pip range. So I think any form of resistance below 151.480. For price to continue moving bearish. Okay, so yeah, we're going to finish off here today. So thanks very much everyone for coming on. Drop a like on the stream if you've enjoyed today's commentary. Tried to give you guys some good information, etc. So yeah, if you've enjoyed today's, I'll be very nice to get some nice likes. Like I say, it helps other people to know what we do here. But yeah, I think for pound yen, I think you're going to have a couple of options. Just last thing from me, I think we could potentially see a support form. This 30-minute candle closing bullish, right, leaving that wick and then a nice wick rejection. I think that would be good to take buys on the next candle coming up. However, if it doesn't do that and this 30-minute candle closes back in the range, I think the only other option to take a buy at that point would to be see some form of bullish candle closing back above like that, and then you can expect a retest and a continuation, because that would basically be the 1 hour creating a support, frankly. So that would be the option for buys. Or if you don't want to do that, you can take buys above here. Would also make sense. You have that nice clean range and back up to retest the highs at that point. Okay, so remain patient, guys. Still got to wait over here. Okay, still just kind of waiting. So be patient, wait for strong confirmation, and don't get caught out. Okay, alright, cool. Thanks very much everyone, take care, and we'll see you tomorrow. Be back tomorrow. Got pound interest rates tomorrow, so very, very big day. Thanks very much guys, see you tomorrow. Thanks Salim, see you mate, bye bye. Thanks everyone on the YouTube.